Okay, we're plugging away, and I thought I would check in and let's add a couple of more and show you the progress I've made. Let's go to the full screen here. And here's my little running title, and I just did advisory ID and the advisory ID. All right, so let's do the title. And what I did was I put this here and offset it so it sort of lines up outside because this is a big vulnerability. Now I've chosen to use a different font because again I was having problems with the digits and the dashes, and it also stands out a little more. So now I have the advisory title to place and the advisory title, and we're going to try to find a place nice here in this gap to place those. I'm going to have to revisit the lighting system. I'm actually curious, what does the lighting system look like? Is that text in the lighting? Yeah, that's pretty, it's different, right? See, the text we've placed there is being lit here, and it's sort of casting a bit of a shadow onto the skull, although I was expecting a little more of the text in the shadow, but pretty neat nonetheless. I wonder if I hide this, can we see the effect of the lighting? Yeah, you see? See how there's less and more shadow on the skull? Isn't this fun? All right, so let's go ahead. I'm a little distracted by how cool this is. And so we're going to go to our build mode. And what I've done is I've built a new, um, let me just do it from scratch. I'm going to take the advisory label, and I want all of those properties. I want this text, this here, right? The parent version of it. So let's copy and paste it. And let's go ahead and rename it. And this one is going to be called advisory title label with no number behind it. And we're not going to touch it any other way. We're just going to hide it. So now let's instantiate it. Let's head into our animation nodes. And we're just going to copy and paste that one. Connect it to our data source for the number of instances we want. And then let's add it to our for loop as an object list. Give it an appropriate title, advisory title labels. And now let's connect that into our iteration, our invoke subprogram node. And now we can deal with it. So let's transform the object's output. It's XYZ location, which means we need a combined vector connected into the XYZ. And we're going to use some math nodes. I don't quite know where we're going to place it yet, but we will use these math nodes. So we're going to place that in here, and let's just make this 0 for now. Let's not subtract anything. And we're going to take that from this base math index, which is linked to the index. And now we have to plug our object and get our object text in, right? So we take our object text output, and our object connects into this object, and now we need the text and the object. So let's do the object first. And now we need the text, which is going to be another list element. And we want list element 2. And that is going to come from our data, which we then need to convert to text. And that text then goes into our text. So now they should be on the screen. But yeah, you see now they're overridden here. So we want to move them down here underneath advisory ID. So let's go find, right, subtract, and the z-axis is going to be, say, 12 to split the difference. That looks pretty good, honestly. And then we're going to subtract it by, well, how far is advisory ID? 5? No, 5 is the other one. 8. Let's try 8. Not far enough. 12. Too far. 10. Not far enough. 11. 11's nice and lined up. Now, why did it not pick up the text? Did I copy the wrong one? It should have the... Let's just check the object here. I haven't instantiated it yet. Well, yeah, they're all there. Why did they not pick up the title? Oh, I understand what's happened. No. I should have got advisory title label instead of advisory ID values. So these are not right. It's because I'm instantiating the wrong object up here, likely. Yeah, I never changed this. I'm sorry, everyone. This should be advisory title label. Excuse me. Sorry about that. There we go. And that's why it's off too far. Okay. I made a slight mistake there. I got a little ahead of myself. Sometimes you get a little overconfident in how fast you can go. Let's make that 9. Let's make that 8. Let's make it 7.5. There we go, 7.5. All right, so now we're going to put our color scheme on that advisory title. And that is, I don't know what I just clicked there. I didn't break anything, did I? No. Okay, so let's color in that advisory title. So now that we have it, and this is a bit of copy paste, you're going to have to bear with me here. But what we're going to do is just take the advisory label here, and what we're doing is setting it to score 5 text, and we're going to change that to title, and then we just have to do the rest of the values. And that needs to be 4. 3. 2. 1. And there are none above 10, but let's just go ahead and do that as well while we're here. And that's the label. And this needs to be title. Right, this only takes a second. Thank you for bearing with me here. And then we'll render and get those colors overlaid onto our new text object. And one more. And we're going to go ahead and save this. We're going to go ahead and save this. Well, let's render it and make sure that it. So we're going to run that. Okay, that ran fine. And now that advisory title should be red. There we go. And it's not catching. It's catching a little bit of light through there. That's kind of neat. I'm not sure what I've done with my camera here, but I've done something bad to it. I think I clicked this by accident. Anyway, I'll have to deal with that separately. It's not too bad. It's a little awkward sometimes. So let's go ahead and save this. Save and save as our backup copy. And now it's easy and fast enough. How do I get out of this stupid view? All right. Let's go ahead and get back into our design view. And we're going to go ahead and add the next object here. So we have our Now, in case the title has numbers and stuff, we're going to use this font, which means we're going to copy the advisory ID value. And again, we're just going to give this another name here of title value. And we're going to hide it. And we're going to go ahead and instantiate it. And this time I'm going to remember to change it. So again, it's once we get it working, it's a matter of a lot of copy the object, change the object to title value, connect the dots from our data source for our number of instances, go ahead and add another object instancer in our for loop, advisory title values, connect in our, and let's just adjust as we go to make everything remain easy to work with. And we're going to connect that in here now. And I can reorganize these probably around this one here. Maybe bring it down, right? So we can start to adjust all of this here. And yeah, let's not play with it too much, and I can take these and move them. Give ourselves a little bit more room to play with this. Okay, all right, so now we're going to go in here and transform that object's output. We know we need a combined vector. We know we're going to need math for that combined vector. And again, we're going to reset that to 0 here from the subtract. Now that comes from this node here, this node here, into the math. And now we need to transform the text. So we want the text, and the object goes here. And we have two things to connect. Our object, which is going to, and our index. So the object is definitely this object. And now the text is that element. And we're going to index that one to 3. And connect that into our data. And then we're going to transform it to a text node. And connect the text into our object. Now there they are. Now they're pretty long and big, which means we need to separate everything. We need to spread everything apart more, which is why I've done this centrally here. Let's make that 50. Let's make it 55. Give everything nice and spaced out. All right. Now let's move it over beside the advisory ID, which is going to be in our transform output here, right? Subtract, I don't know, 3. 3 is pretty good. 4. 3.5. And now we have to color in this new object, right? Now, let's play, I don't know. Do you want to try to make it maybe this? Maybe we could change these materials here to be this as opposed to this text. Let's just try that for the title here. So then for our materials, instead of picking score text, we're just going to pick score. Okay, so we're going to copy this, and we're going to just test it once first and see what it looks like with the red. And this is now value. And let's run it. I kind of like that. But should I standardize it and always make the value the glow? No, I don't think so. I think just important information will get the glow. All right, great. Okay, so I'm just going to apply the rest of those glows, the yellow, the other colors. And I just wanted to check in and show you just how easy it is to just continue to build and build on the data. We're getting close to a final report pretty soon. Thanks again.